Remember that you are dust, and to dust you will return. That's the line of the day, isn't it? Get ashes on our forehead, getting told that we are going to die someday, that reminder that this earthly journey will end and this physical body will return to the earth. And that's an important reminder. It puts in perspective what our lives look like, what they can be, and what they should be. That because this will end someday, there's a limit on it, and that creates a tremendous amount of value. And with that, Ash Wednesday is the doorstep to Lent. As soon as you receive the ashes, that's when your Lenten journey starts. So, one of the questions we often ask during this time is, what are you giving up for Lent? What are you giving up? That's a weird question when I think about it. What are you giving up for Lent? Because this year, it feels like Lent never really left us. It lingered. We moved into Easter and Pentecost and finished the year. We even had Christmas, but none of it felt celebratory. None of it felt like we were moving our way through this Christian story. It felt like, I don't even know the word for it, it was a virtual celebration. And we know that that's not what we really want, what we really need, and that doesn't really give us the life-giving power that the story would normally give us. Because you may remember, COVID shut down. We had our last pre-COVID service March 15th, and that was a minimal congregation. That was the fifth Sunday of Lent, 2 weeks before Easter. And Easter, as I said, was not filled with the resurrection joy as we moved into an extended season of uncertainty. And here we are again. Lent is back. But as I said, I don't think Lent ever really left us. So getting back to giving something up. People give up chocolate. Talked to one person at Shalem Lodge, one of the activity coordinators, said she's given up wine with her dinner, which is a sacrifice. Coffee, I know one person who gives up coffee every year. The shakes stop after about a week. And this is supposed to ritualize loss and suffering. This is supposed to mimic or mirror Jesus' 40-day fast in the desert. Others like to take something on, put a more positive spin on it. Like they volunteer for a cause they believe in. They spend more time in prayer. They read the Bible more often or more deeply or more intentionally for these 40 weeks of Lent. But as I got thinking about it, I don't like the language of giving something up or taking something on for Lent. Even if it's life-giving, bringing it on. Because there's a fixed point, an end point, when this practice will end. And that means it won't have a transformative effect. I like the language and the practice of introducing new disciplines. Life has its own challenges of its own. We don't need rituals to remind us how hard life can be. Because it feels like, as I said twice already, this COVID time has been a time when we have been stuck in Lent. We've already given up so much in this pandemic that giving up something symbolic feels trite. We've given up times with loved ones. We've given up Christmas. We've given up birthdays. We've given up graduations, confirmations, public, in-person worship. We've given up just basic human interaction. We've given up human touch. We've given up the ability to look at each other's faces just so we can protect each other from this virus. We've already given up so much that it seems bizarre to pile something on top of that during this COVID time. And especially those who have lost a loved one from this virus or from other way, because saying goodbye in this moment doesn't have the power, the effect, the healing that it needs to be, because it's so limited in trying to protect each other from this virus. So, I like the language and the practice. This is what I prefer. The language and the practice of disciplines. And here's the distinction. Disciplines move us toward something life-giving. They help us to grow. Disciplines help us grow into who God created us to be. When they are the right disciplines, they move us into maturity, and they move us into wisdom. So, this Lent, these are the two disciplines that I'm going to be introducing in these 40 days. One, the discipline of clean eating and exercise. I've done actually pretty well in this area. At least since December, I've lost 20 pounds. Well, 20 pounds, but haven't been consistent. I haven't been as intentional as I should be, or as I would like to be, in order to have the effects of clean eating and exercise. I want to head in a better direction from where I've come from over the past few weeks or so, because a healthier body means a healthier mind, a healthier soul, a healthier spirit, so I can move through the world in a healthier way. The second discipline, and many of you know that I'm in a doctoral program, and I need to get this out of my life. So I'm putting this program into hyperdrive over Lent, these 40 days, and probably beyond. My goal is to be a doctoral candidate by Easter. This means that I need to finish what is called an integrative paper, which I'm about 2 or 3 at the most rewrites finished on it. And I need my dissertation proposal, which I'm told will be easy to put together from my integrative paper. The integrative paper is taking the place of a comprehensive exam. Same content, but they want it in paper form. So that's what I'm doing during this Lent. 3 hours at minimum a day working on this thing so I can get this done. So when Easter hits, I can, bam, jump into my dissertation and get this thing done by the end of the year. That will be my Lenten observance. It's different from giving something up or taking something on, because this will extend past. It'll have an effect past the Lenten journey and move me closer to being the person God created me to be. So that's my Lenten observance. What will be yours? How are you meeting this Lenten season? Let me offer you a bold decision as you think about how you are going to move forward, move through Lent. Here's a suggestion, a fasting suggestion. How about you fast from negative self-talk? How about you fast from self-doubt? How about you fast from the need to be more productive because that's who you think people want you to be? Maybe you need to fast from worrying, especially about a future you really can't control. Maybe you need to fast from a sense of hopelessness that tempts you every time COVID numbers spike. And I suggest you nurture a discipline that brings you rest, that brings you renewal, that brings you strength, that brings you joy. And if you think that's not Lenten enough, that you need to somehow suffer, be uncomfortable like Jesus was during the 40 days. As I said before, the word Lent means spring, and spring is a time of awakening. Spring is a time of growth, of rebirth, and of joy that finally this cold snap, this cold winter is gone. So this Lent, I encourage you for a discipline that helps you grow, that brings you joy, that brings you what you need to move closer into who God created you to be. And when we meet the end of this Lent, whether it's on Easter Sunday or the Easter Sunday that looks like the end of this pandemic when we get our lives back, you will meet that moment stronger, healthier, and be able to greet that moment with a stronger sense of joy, commitment, and purpose. So this Lent, let's grow together. And may this be so among us. Amen.